Today on our 2015 Ford E-Series motorhome, we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install the Roadmaster Front Anti-Sway Bar, part number RM-1139-176. Here at eTrailer.com, we've had a lot of customers complain about the characteristics of the way their motorhome rides. Let's take a look at one of those now.
Yeah, there's a lot of, times we get the body roll when we're stopping or going around a curve, and the unit will want to roll to the right or left.
Right.
So we're hoping to minimize that. This whole unit, especially being top heavy like this, it'll want to roll in the direction, and we're hoping to stiffen that up and help stabilize it just a little more, feel a little more solid. Buffeting in the wind, I mean, we were on vacation and there were times when I had the wheel like this going straight down the road. Well, my wife wouldn't even drive the vehicle at that time. In fact, it was funny because she found the next exit, pulled over, stopped in the middle of the exit, and bailed out. She goes, "I'm done." The kids were laughing. So we're hoping to keep that, minimize it. Probably never get rid of all of it, but we'd like to reduce that. And that was from a stop. It's to be expected with something like this, but if we can make it better, that's the goal. Now feel on this turn how it wants to roll. Not too bad, but there's a little bit there. You feel it just kind of does this down the road. Every time there's a break in the overpass or it's a big box on a small frame. I'm just looking to increase the controllability of the unit.
So if you've ever driven an RV down the road, you probably experienced a lot of the same symptoms that our customer is experiencing. It is a giant box, so crosswinds are going to affect us, and it is pretty top heavy, so we're going to feel that body roll. Well, that's where our Roadmaster Sway Bar is going to come into play. It's going to tie our front axle and also to the frame, so it's going to distribute that weight more evenly, whether we're taking evasive maneuvers, going around a turn, or a big truck comes by and causes that massive crosswind. Now our bar itself is going to be constructed of a 4140 chrome moly steel, so we know it's going to be nice and durable, and the black powder coat finish is going to keeping it look nice for a long time. So we can already see a size difference in the bars. Now our factory bar is going to be 7/8 of an inch thick, and our Roadmaster bar is going to be 1 3/8 inch thick. Now what that's going to equate to is that our Roadmaster bar is going to give us a lot more strength and a lot more stability when we're driving down the road. And our polyurethane bushings are going to hold up a lot longer and give us more stability over the factory rubber bushings. Even the replacement end links, as you can see, are a lot more sturdy and have a lot more meat to them, so they're going to be a lot more durable and last us a very long time. So if you're a lot like our customer Tom, where you're experiencing crosswinds pushing you around, or his wife who took it down for a ride, made it about a quarter of the mile and then just didn't genuinely feel safe driving it and didn't want to drive it anymore, our Roadmaster Anti-Sway Bar is going to be a great solution to alleviate a lot of those problems. And now that we have it in place and seen what it looks like, let's go and let Tom take it for a test drive.
No body roll through this turn, or not nearly as much. See how level that was? Oh, we're taking this a little bit faster, and look, it's still level through the turn pretty much. How much smoother it is. The unevenness in the roads, a lot of that is gone. It just feels so much more solid. I mean, the steering is so nice now. Just fingertip. I'm surprised how much that really helped. I'm level through the turns, whereas before, even at slow speed, and you saw that when we would come out, there would be body roll. Did you see how level it was coming out of your parking lot? And taking the highway, we went a little bit faster because we had a truck in front of us last time, and we were much more level. I feel like it's more in control. Lost a lot of this twisting action. I mean, it was funny, my wife and daughters would actually see the vehicle moving because it's such a long wheelbase, but now I can feel that it's pretty solid. I mean, just the overall feel. And the steering, I really like the way the steering's feeling with all the changes. So yeah, it's well worth it, well worth it. I feel like you're in more in control of it now. I'm surprised that those bars made that much difference in how the steering wheel feels. I thought the steering stabilizer was nice, but I can actually tell an upgrade, probably the best upgrade we've done to this.
So with the anti-sway bar in place, Tom and his wife are ready to hit the road and start their adventure. So now that we've seen what our anti-sway bar looks like and gone over some of the benefits, let's show you how to get it installed. The first step in our installation is going to be to find our factory front sway bar. Now if we follow it along, we're going to see that there's going to be some brackets that are mounted to the frame, and then towards the end on each side we're going to have our end links. Now we're going to need to remove our end links, and to take the nut off the end, we'll be using an 18mm socket. Now a lot of times the stud will spin when you're trying to take it off. Fortunately, there is 2 flat spots on the inside that you can put a wrench on if it does start spinning. Take the nut off, and we'll do that on the other side as well. If we follow the end link up, we're going to have another nut that's holding the end link to the bar itself, and we're either going to need to loosen that or take it completely off. And again, I'm going to be using an 18mm socket to remove it. So we can go ahead and pull the end link out, and we'll do that on the other side as well. Now if we come to our sway bar where it mounts to our frame, we're going to have 2 bolts holding it in place. Now the one towards the back of our motorhome is going to be a smaller head. I'm going to be using a 15mm socket to remove it. Go ahead and take out the other one as well. Now for the larger bolt towards the front of our motorhome, it's going to be an 18mm head. We're using an 18mm socket to remove it. Now when we pull this out, there's not going to be anything holding the sway bar in place, so I just want to remind you to be careful and try to hold it up while you're taking it out. And pull the old sway bar out and get ready to put the new one in place. Just to make sure we have our frame brackets in the correct placement, we're going to be putting the 2 bars close together so we can see where they need to go. Then we can take our provided new bushings and the lubricant that they provide us, and you're going to want to put a decent amount inside the bushing itself. And we only have 2 of them, so we don't have to worry about not having enough. You're going to take it, put it on the inside, make it a lot easier to slide onto that bar. Just put a little bit on the inside. And it doesn't hurt to put a little bit around where the bracket's going to go as well. And then we can take it, and it is a split bushing, so we can open it up slightly, and we're going to slide it onto the bar itself. Just want to pry it open slightly, and we can push it on, slide it into place. And that lubricant's going to make it easy to move in case we don't have it in the exact position. Now we can go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Now we're going to have to get the actual brackets off of the old bushings. The easiest way to do that is to go ahead and flip it so that it's facing down. And just give it a good couple hits, kind of work it off the old bushing. Maybe stuck a little bit, they should pop right off. And we can take the bracket and slide it over our new polyurethane bushing and just press it into place. And we'll do that for both of them. And before we put any of our hardware in place, we're going to take the supplied Loctite. Just go ahead and snap the top of it off. And we're going to put a small amount on each one of our bolts. And you want to do this for all the bolts, the factory ones, as well as the end links. Now, it always helps to get an extra set of hands, but you're going to want to line your frame brackets up with the holes in the frame, and we're going to take our factory hardware. We're going to loosely install it just to support the sway bar so it doesn't fall back down. You want to get 1 bolt in on each side until we can get the rest of the hardware in place. So when we get ready to put our end links in place, you're going to want to come from the center of your motorhome and go towards the outside. Now the studs are movable, so if you need to, you can kind of bend them in the direction you need to get them in place. We're going to go through the eyelet on the sway bar and through the eyelet on the frame and secure it down with the nuts. We're going to put these hand tight for now, and we'll get the other one in place. We're going to come back and we're going to snug up all our hardware. For our end links here, I'm going to be using that same 18mm socket. And if that stud starts spinning, you grab an 18mm wrench and hold it in place. End links tight, we can tighten up our frame brackets as well. Now with everything snug, I'm going to come back and torque all my bolts to the specified amount in the instructions. I do want to mention that the end links and the frame bolts all have different torque values, so you want to double check the instructions and make sure you get the correct amount. And then we'll go through and we're going to torque the rest of our hardware down. And that'll finish up your look at the Roadmaster Front Anti-Sway Bar, part number RM-1139-176 on our 2015 Ford E-Series motorhome.